conclusion support this structure. So we don't begin with the conclusion in mind, we don't begin with the opening in mind, we begin with the point we're trying to make, the thesis, the two stories that we're going to tell, and then we build the opening and conclusion around it. Very good. Now, what kind of opening might we want to have?
An exciting one.
Yes. And while we're thinking about that, I remember reading it's in the Toastmasters literature. It says a speech should have an opening, a body, and a conclusion. Just want to add that in. I'm reading, I'm going, yeah. Where else would you start your speech? How many of you ever started saying your speech with a conclusion? Anyway. An exciting opening. In a table topic, how much time do you have to make an exciting opening?
30 seconds.
30
seconds.
Sentence.
A sentence. Right answer. We have a sentence to make an exciting opening. What else might want to put into the opening? Remember, this is a speech. This is not storytelling. In storytelling, you have exposition, climax, resolution. This is a speech which has a different structure, and they are different. What else would you put in the opening?
Repeat the question.
You could repeat the question. I tend not to repeat the question. Why do I tend not to repeat the question? Because everyone repeats the question. Well, it's a great way of stalling, isn't it? I'll just repeat the question a couple times here, and we'll be all set. You sort of repeat the question in a way. Let's keep thinking about it. What else could we put in the opening? Keep working it. You're on the right direction. But I'm just yanking your chain, so don't worry about it. What else would we put in the opening? We have an exciting open, then the body of
transition into the first point?
Yes, transition. So we've got an exciting open, we have a transition, what else? Have you ever heard the phrase, tell them what you're going to tell them, tell them what you told them? What does that mean?
Reinforce.
How do we do that? I think we're going to tell them what we're going to tell them up here in the opening. No one said that yet. I'm dropping hints. The audience participation part of this workshop is coming up very soon. It's the tell them what you're going to tell them part. Do you agree?
Yeah.
Okay. What might we call that?
Rephrasing, rewording.
I shorten it to map, just the map. The map is the indication of the structure of the speech. Often what happens is you'll have someone starting to tell the map, they'll get a sentence into it, and they'll continue on that story. You don't know what the other one or two parts are, and suddenly it shows up later like a surprise. So it's to indicate the structure of the speech without answering it, transitioning it to that story, and then telling the details of the story afterwards. So that as each story goes by, we go, yeah, there's the two, yep, okay, and now, oh, there's the transition, oh, there it is, oh, there's a conclusion, neat. What else? The opening has so much stuff in there. Work with, rephrase the question, or restate the question.
Make a statement.
In the opening, yes. Now you could leave it as a big surprise for the conclusion. Here's some nice stories. Guess what it was about? There's a huge risk. The risk is confusion. I found that if you stated at the opening, Audience knows your point of view, transitions to the body, there it is. The audience sees the two stories coming by, oh, there's a conclusion. We should have no new information in the conclusion. It went by, now it should end. Oh, it did. How many of you ever listened to a speech or table topic and it keeps concluding? And concluding, and didn't he just conclude, and it keeps concluding? All right, for the opening, so we have details, the opening and conclusion. And here's how it goes. We have the exciting, open, alarming statement, rock them out of their seats idea to make them go, what? And bring them in. Ed Tate calls it to shake people out of their preoccupation, to break their preoccupation of whatever they were thinking about and get them in right away. For example, many people believe that our taxes are too high. I say our taxes are way, way too low. You're in, right?
Yeah.
You can't help it. You're like, what? Jerk. 2, thesis. State the thesis of the speech. So I often open in a contradictory way. Many people believe, but I believe. Seems easier, I don't know what. 3 is the map. And there will be a transition. It's up to you whether you consider the transition sentence part of the body or part of the opening. I don't care as long as it shows up. In the conclusion, we have a map. We have the thesis. And then we have an exciting, that says exciting, conclusion. Another way of saying exciting conclusion. So the exciting opening is to arouse audience interest in the speaker and the subject. The exciting opening is to arouse audience interest in their application, their doing of the thesis. Call it a call to action, call it take home, whatever you want to call it, it's for the audience. In more advanced classes, we will make this whole thing about the audience. Do you agree that that might be a better way to go? But for now, we'll just say that the stories are about you, and in the conclusion, we'll make it about the audience. Is that good? Does that work for you? It wasn't a trick question. Does that work?
Yes.
Is that okay? So that's it. We just need to do that. Now, if you open up your handout and continue on, you'll see this. And not the very last slide, it'll look like this. Right. That one there, where the thesis point connect up to all the different elements of the speech. But it's all rooted in thesis point. With practice, you will exercise your mind to ad-lib the opening. You want an amazing, exciting opening that arouses the audience's interest in the speaker and the speech. You want to present the thesis, you want to present the roadmap, you want to transition to the first body of the speech. I know this stuff off by heart, so I've done it hundreds of times. Your first time through, it'll be the first sentence. Excitement, okay. And that's all right, because you're conditioning your mind to work quickly. But with this structure in the mind, all rooted in thesis point, it's going to go a lot faster. First exercise is on your own. We'll turn back in our handout.
Okay.
There's a memory map exercise. We're just going to exercise your mind to come up with thesis point very quickly. We'll give you 30 seconds each just because you have to write it down. But the idea is to visualize it, preferably not as a textual word that has a picture. I have a friend who remembers her whole speech by the shape and position of the text on the page. I can't do that, that's me, I just have to see pictures, so whatever works for you to remember things, if it's a sound or a story or a movie, still pictures, okay, whatever works for your
Okay.
way of processing things.
Can you just give us the, just do a quick thesis point yourself?
We're gonna do with my part.
Or just do on yourself with your
Example.
brain thinky.
We're gonna do 3 of them, is that what you mean?
Oh, I was just gonna have you give us an example.
Okay.
Or if you do something.
Who do you want to go?
Who's working on a speech?
Who's working on a speech?
Yeah.
I'm working on a speech,
What's the topic?
but the thing that right now, what I'm working is an interpretative reading, so. But I'm working one for the contest.
Tell us why people should enter the contest. Tell us why people should enter the contest.
Because you gain experience.
No, not that.
no.
What I want you to do
No.
is
Okay.
is to write it down
Oh, you
in
write it
these
down.
boxes. Write it down in these boxes, why, and then 2 points about the why. And if you want to put 3 points, that's fine. I just find it too much work. Okay, got it. All right, done? Everyone's done? Pieces, point, done. Okay, stop writing. And who hasn't finished?
I can't write that fast.
I'm done. I'm done.
Who hasn't finished?
Yeah,
I haven't finished. See, I actually have, I'm sorry, is this kind do you want us to ask the questions at the end?
I want you to tell me, what I want you to tell me is your thesis and your 2 points.
Okay, so I'm actually one of the people who didn't finish because unlike most people who have 1,000 ideas, I usually am like, oh my god, what am I gonna
Yeah.
say? So
That's all right.
I have a thesis.
Yes? And what is it?
People should enter the contest because it'll expand their comfort zone.
Okay, we want to reduce those words to comfort zone or expand comfort zone.
Okay.
Remove any extraneous ideas, thoughts, just cut them all out. And what else about that? What about expanding the comfort zone?
I guess one of the points could be any suggestions?
Because it helps you come up with speech ideas. So that's your first one.
Okay,
Good.
so speech
Helps you
ideas.
speech ideas. Good, that was good. And your next one is?
What?
Experience.
There you go, experience.
Sure. We want to experience more stuff because if we don't, we're dead. True, isn't it? If you don't experience anything, you're dead. All right. Anyone else? Yep.
Thesis, if you enter a competition, will help you improve.
Improve. Good. So cut it down to minimize it so it's improve. Yep.
And point 1, competition.
Competition.
Point 2, stress. Stress. Cope with stress.
Oh, and the second one is coping with stress. Good. Stress. So improve, competition, stress. Good. Anyone else? Yep.
My thesis is entering contest equals growth.
Growth.
My point 1 was also like learning to deal with stress.
Stress.
And my point 2 is surprising yourself how good you can be.
Yeah. How good you can be. Now, because he had it stress first, does that make it wrong? Because she had it second? No.
Does it make her wrong?
So it's okay, is it? Or anyone else?
I have for a thesis, get over your fear.
Okay, go over with fear and
And I only got 1 point, but it was jumpstart your brain.
jumpstart the
I guess the
brain.
second one could be, I don't know, be smarter with your boss.
Yeah. Or it could be, what's really, really, really good is if